should have
Dude, that's right.
Yeah, sorry about that. And actually, let me move this over here.
Yo.
Yeah, we're still getting set up here. Unfortunately, I'm still very new to this, so bear with me. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing here. The camera's over here, but the big screen's right here. And yeah, anyway, yeah, it's tough. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can just get started. Like, you know, we don't really have to look at the camera very often. We can look at each other. And, you know,
I'll only look over here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But
Jack, congratulations!
Hey, thank you, Nate.
On 1,000 subs.
Thank you.
A
And
round of
honestly, like,
applause.
you know, I know I'm thanking Nate, but I want to just thank everybody else. You know, I just wanted to do at least like something quick, little live stream for everybody, just because, you know, I just wanted to give my sincerest of thank yous. You know, Raven's getting us some lovely celebratory beverages. Thank you very much. Cheers to 1K. But yeah, man, I just want to sincerely thank everybody who subscribed to the channel, constantly, you know, is supporting it and whatnot. And honestly, I really should have done a speed test or something, because I don't know if this is like looking good at all, or like what's going on with this. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, and you know, it's tough. Like, you know, I know that I think I only have like maybe 50 videos on YouTube, and right now I'm like uploading monthly, but you know, content creating is not easy and it takes a lot of time, but I do really enjoy it. And, you know, it's just been really gratifying to finally get 1,000 subscribers. And, you know, if to anybody watching, you know, keep watching all my other videos, because I think it's just the one Kings Island video really that has gotten me 1,000 subscribers. That has like 70,000 views, which is like absurd. And I still like just can't believe that at all. But yeah, I mean, you know, that definitely helped me get to 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, I just really appreciate everybody subscribing, liking, commenting, interacting with all the videos and whatnot. And most of all, I just hope you enjoy the content that I put out there, because, you know, it's for you guys. I mean, obviously I do it, you know, for fun and for myself, but also, you know, I just want to like entertain everybody. So, you know, I really appreciate all the support. So thank you so much for all your guys' support. Anyway, so
There you go, Jack.
just to introduce everyone who might be watching into this live stream, I just want to introduce my lovely girlfriend, Raven. She's joining us today. And yeah, guys, remember the camera's over here. So it's weird. Like, I thought we could do a split screen where like we could get the chat on one side and us on the screen on the other, but we can't. So anyway, yeah. And so this is Raven. We've been for a long time. This is our new apartment. Glad we get to, you know, show it off to you guys. And then, of course, my buddy Nathaniel Hawk, also from the Lehigh Valley, like Raven. Yeah, and you know, we all live here in Philly now, and you know, it's really great. And you know, and Nate, honestly, it's a pretty funny story, like how him and I met. You want to tell it?
I met Jack all the way down in Kentucky at Keys of the Kingdom last year.
Yep.
I went with my old man. It was the first time I went to an enthusiast event. I was standing in line. This dude's wearing a Sixers jersey. So naturally, I'm like, yo, you trusting the process lately? And they were looking good at the time. So we definitely were. And
Till Simmons didn't take.
yeah, I always thought it was funny. I had to go all the way to Kentucky to meet a dude that lived in my backyard.
Yeah. Dude, no,
yeah.
I'm happy with it. You know, I'm really happy that it happened. And I feel like that's like a really good example of kind of like what this community is that all of a sudden, like, you could meet somebody who's like from your neck of the woods, you know, and you can meet them on the other side of the country. Like, it's insane. Like, it's so weird. Yeah, that is the Nathaniel Hawk. Yeah, it's you know.
Shout out Beyond Thrills.
Thank you, Beyond Thrills. I really appreciate
Nick,
it.
appreciate
That is the Nate Hawk, the little hawk character on the Busch Gardens vlog.
Yeah, I love the little
cheesy as heck. Yeah,
it's like anytime I say something stupid, like, "Aw."
Yeah.
Okay, well, he blows my head up and puts it on like animation, so it makes you feel better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I you know, Raven has some funny takes when you put her on a vlog, you know, because she's probably the least nerdy of the three here. You know, I kind of brought her into this life, and you know, she's been along for the ride. I mean, her and I haven't really gotten to go to a whole lot of parks yet this year. Still hoping to maybe, you know, squeeze something out, you know, in the tail end of the summer. But Nate and I are planning on going to Kings Dominion next weekend. So that should be nice and fun. But I did want to say too, like with how Nate and I met, I still think it's just like so cool that we can just go and meet each other in freaking Kentucky. Meanwhile, we're both from Pennsylvania, and I think I think you were wearing a Steel Force shirt.
I definitely.
So I was like, oh, like Steel Force, like that's so random, like like that's cool, like you've been there. And he's like, yeah, I'm from there. It's my own park, like so so it was a lot of fun, and
We have ready.
Is there a
And I
question?
can read it.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
Well, Kelly's in here, so hi, Kelly.
Hey, Kel. My sister.
Kelly.
Yep.
And then Beyond the Thrill says, I got a question for y'all. Where do you think MC Wildcat will rank in Hershey Park's lineup?
RMC.
RMC. I can't see RMC.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to read.
MC
RMC.
Wildcat.
MC
That's a
Wildcat
show
in
at
the
Hershey.
building.
Apologies.
Where it'll rank in Hershey Park's lineup?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Honestly, I think it depends on how tall they build it.
One?
Like I it could be. I mean, I think it'll. I would go either 2 or 3. Like, granted, so if it stays like basically the same height it is right now, it'll be right around Candymonium level. I think it'll be like a lower tier RMC, like because I think I have Candymonium ranked higher than like
What is
New
a
Texas
lower
Giant
tier
and
RMC?
Twisted Cyclone.
What does that mean?
Like small
Lower
scale,
tier RMC,
like
yeah.
only does like 2 laps, or if it's like New Texas Giant where
Some argue
every other
those are
hill actually gets
better,
airtime.
right?
Huh?
Some argue that the small scale are the better rides.
Eh,
I don't argue that.
Well, I mean, Twisted Timbers,
Yeah.
is a good example of that. I don't consider Twisted Timbers a small scale one because that's a 3rd lap. Same thing with Wicked Cyclone, but Twisted Cyclone only has 2, and then New Texas Giant is like lower tier because it's just not every hill hits.
Mhm.
But as far as like RMC Wildcat, it does have the potential to be number 1 in the park, easy. I just think it depends on like how tall they build it. If they add to the layout like more than what's already available, like if they add like more footers, if they add like a steel truss like lift hill, I think all of those could make it like possibly better than Skyrush. But I think it's going to be just barely second to Skyrush, and then just slightly better than Candymonium. It still blows my mind that is going to be at that park, right? Like that's a dream come true that Hershey's getting an RMC. Like that's nuts.
I am unbelievably psyched for it.
What do you think it'll be?
I think I've already decided in my head it's going to be my favorite ride there. I'm definitely on the train that it's going to be huge. I don't think it's going to be small.
Do you think they're going to go hyper?
Yeah, if not hyper, they're going to go close.
If they're going to build it tall, like why not?
Yeah,
Like wouldn't they be like the first park in the country with 3 hypers? Like,
unless you count Cedar Point.
Yeah, but that's like Gigas and Stratas. Just like,
but they
have 3 200-foot coasters.
They've
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. They're gonna have like one of the best lineups.
Yeah.
In general, but when I was there last, I was like looking at the supports and like when they had all the blue markings, and of course now you can see all the stuff that's going on like around that area.
Yep.
But one of the big tell signs I started thinking about was like most RMCs, I'm pretty sure all of them come like do the brake run, like you come kind of straight into the brake run and then the station. There's like when you look at Wildcat, the layout now, it hits that brake run, it does the squeaky wheel thing in the turn. There's none of that on any RMC. So I think the blue supports were our supports that were going, not staying.
Really?
I think blues were going.
I was going to say, because you got to see it in person. I haven't been to Hershey this year, so I haven't seen this
whole stretch of land that was like where the photo booth was and part of the queue. I think that's going to be all cleared out, and that's going to be where the brake run is.
Okay.
And then,
but where will it rank in the park?
Where will it rank in the park? Number 1, if it's huge, maybe probably 2.
I don't know. Skyrush is so good. Like it's hard for me to see it like above that. But we'll see. I'm super excited about it. I don't know how much you know about RMC Wildcat.
I don't. I like Skyrush. I don't
Like,
know anything about RMC Wildcat.
Imagine if it's like Twisted Timbers. Where would it rank in the park? Because I mean, if it's like Twisted Timbers, it would be 1.
Yeah.
2.
So you have Twisted Timbers after Skyrush?
No, RMC Wildcat after Skyrush.
No, I mean like.
Where
would it rank in Hershey?
Close to Twisted.
So you have Twisted Timbers ahead of
level.
Yeah.
Not Joker. More intense than that. Well, I haven't done Cyclone or Joker, but I can't see it being better than
Yeah.
Twisted Cyclone. That's one of my most anticipated credits. 'Cause
No,
it's
I really hope
closer
it's
to
better than Twisted Cyclone because I hope they use like a lot of it. And I mean, I think Hershey will go like pretty big. I don't think they're going to build it over 200 feet. To be honest,
They
Like,
should be RMCing Wildcat and Lightning Racer together.
Oh yeah,
into
they're
one.
gonna 300 foot tall
Yes.
hybrid that goes over the entire park like that.
But yeah, they don't ask me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to be a great ride.
Final
Nonetheless,
standings. Give it a
I'll go 2. Yeah, I'll go 2 in the park. To be realistic,
I'm gonna go 1.
Oh.
I'm gonna say
He's optimistic.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this is Hershey's move to become the roller coaster capital of the world. I think they're gonna push for it.
Okay.
but I like your opinion though. I do think it's going to be right around the same level as Twisted Cyclone. Yeah, right around there.
All right,
And thank
then-
you, Airtime Mike. Oh, we got Airtime Mike in the building. We got
Airtime
Coaster
Mike.
Idiot. What's up, man?
Airtime Mike wants to know
Appreciate
if
it.
I-305 is still in your top 5.
It is in both of our top
It's my
5.
number
It's
one.
my number 1 overall. Yeah.
I love
It's my number
I-305.
3 overall, actually. Yeah. And
Really?
I actually have it ahead of Iron Gwazi, which I think is an unpopular opinion.
What about you?
That's so I love I-305, and Mike, I got my first night ride on I-305 with you last summer. You were a hoot to ride with.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. I love it. It doesn't crack my top 10 though, but that's just because it has over the shoulder restraints, and my top 10 that's a breaking point for me.
But did you black out on it?
Yes, I had an
I
experience.
passed
Dude,
out.
I
I don't know if people forget
experienced-
that.
I thought I saw God on that ride.
I lost consciousness for the entire first turn, and I woke up on
I came to one time. I lost my hearing on that ride.
the whole time. Literally, I was like,
Knocked out.
because I woke back
Yeah.
up, but the whole time I was just still like just flailing all over
Yeah.
the place. It was insane.
I had got a chiropractor appointment on I-305. It like my neck hit the
Yeah.
thing, and my whole back cracked. And I got off the ride. I was like, I've never felt better.
But it hurts in like a good way.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think
That's why I
actually,
like it.
dude, I think the over-the-shoulder restraints are there because if it weren't there, it would. Because I honestly feel like for as much positive as there is, there also is enough like airtime to like pull your spine like out and
Oh,
like
yeah.
loosen your spine.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if there aren't over the shoulders, your
We'll
spine would
talk
like
about
break.
that airtime on that ride because the airtime's actually really good. People are like, it's not my kind of ride because it doesn't have airtime. I mean, take
that
it from
that first
airtime
hill,
bike.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and I think it has enough airtime
So you don't think it
because
has airtime?
No, I think it does.
Oh, okay.
I don't think enough people actually talk about how
I
good
think
the airtime on
it's
that
the
ride
it's the
is.
type of airtime that's also laterals because you're just up and out and over around your seat.
That one, like,
because there's a bunch of like Sky Rush type like flips.
yeah, that
We
one, like, left-hand
directions.
turn that puts you upright for 1 second and then puts you back to the left.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite part
Yeah.
of the ride. That's so fun.
Beyond the Hills, since we're all from Philly area, gotta ask, you think Dorney is more likely to add a coaster
in
in
Stinger's
Stinger's
spot.
former?
Dude.
Aww.
Yeah, no, I really hope so, and I honestly I'm a little disappointed that
Was
What?
Stinger like the?
Yeah, it was the yeah,
the inverted boomerang.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore.
No.
Where are you thinking possessed?
We've been to
Oh, I'm
Dor-
thinking it possessed.
Well, I hear
Well,
that
I mean, if
possessed
they
is
are to
really
add
too.
the Gravity Group shuttle Woody, that I really hope that they will. Granted, like the fact that Cedar Fair did like a big announcement type day for multiple parks,
Yeah.
it is a little bit of a bummer that they didn't do anything for Dorney. That really sucks, and especially because Worlds of Fun is basically like Dorney Midwest, and you know they hadn't gotten anything in like almost 15 years, and then now get Zambezi Zinger, which is like super cool. It looks cool with like the spiral lift hill, you know, that's Titan track, and you know it seems like a really great ride. I mean, it's a little redundant with Prowler there, but you know it should kind of fill a gap, I guess. But I mean, they need a launch coaster, but Dorney, oh man, I like if they were gonna do a big like announcement of like a bunch of different parks like under the Cedar Fair chain, you would have thought that Dorney would then also join in that and get it. So I mean, maybe next year. I
Next
don't know.
year. Next year, because everybody's getting some. If the ones that didn't get something this next year, like to 2023, got something for this year, right? Like Toonbeely got something. Did anybody? Any
I
other
think that was the
super
only
fun?
new
Okay, before the pandemic, that's when they touched.
Orion.
That's when they touched Kings Island, right? And Carowinds in 20.
And I don't think Valley Fair is ever going to get anything ever again.
They're touching everything but Valley Fair.
Dude, just give us Railblazer. Give Dorney Railblazer, please.
You know, we had our time.
California's Great America.
Yeah.
Getting axed.
Dorney's time was 10 years, 15, 20 years ago when they were a new toy that Cedar Fair has. We got all the gold.
Yeah.
We got a Hyper from them. We got 2 B&Ms. We were the talk of the town.
And then that was before the Paramount purchase, right?
And that was before. And then Paramount Parks came in, and Cedar Fair was like, well, like, we don't need you anymore. The funniest thing is I saw a meme about this stuff, and it had like, you know, it's the kids playing in the pool, right? And the mom's holding up the kid, the one kid's drowning, and the kid's so like Cedar
and then
Fair,
there's a skeleton at the bottom of the pool
holding up like the big parks. King's Dominion's drowning. The dead park was Valley Fair, and the meme even forgot about Dorney.
Yep.
It's sad.
Dorney's still kind of drowning.
We're not even
not dead yet, but I don't know. We'll see.
I missed a question. I apologize.
Hey, that just came in.
No, earlier. Mike, he said, what's everyone's favorite new credit they got this year?
Ooh.
I haven't been to any parks this year, so Jersey Devil last year.
Yeah, we forgot to renew.
Jersey Devil last year.
We forgot to renew our Six Flags season, our memberships last year, so we never got a new season pass this year. I only have the SeaWorld one, and like that's expensive in itself. But I mean, my favorite new credit easily Iron Gwazi. Come on, I've only gotten 12 new credits this year, and that's not much when compared to 2021, in which I got 90 new ones. Then again, that was like Texas, the Midwest, like those are some serious like actual coaster trips that year. But yeah, no, I'm happy to have gotten as many credits as I've gotten. Like, I mean, SeaWorld was basically like a new park for me. Obviously, Iron Gwazi finally, like the 5-year wait was over. Or I mean, because I remember hearing about Iron Gwazi like in I think like 2017 was when I first kind of started getting semi. Yeah, and like in 2017, like it was at least like known that to me that RMC was a company that took old wooden and formed them into crazy good steel coasters. And I've just been sitting around doing nothing for like 2 years, yet they hadn't torn it down. So I was like, what did they, and that ended up happening finally. But another 2-year wait after the pandemic, and her and I went to Busch Gardens like a week before what we thought was
like
going to open.
lockdown.
It was a few days.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was a few days. It was
lockdown.
completely done. It was a few days before they started doing test runs, and then a few days later was COVID. So yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, easily Iron Gwazi for me this year. Like that, I'm so glad I got on that.
Beyond the Thrill says TBH. Oh, can I say that? Bezzy Zinger. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's how Cole pronounced it.
Would have fit more at Dorney than Worlds of Fun because World of Fun already has Timberwolf and Prowler.
Honestly, yeah, because the one wooden coaster at Dorney is Thunderhawk, and that's like old and bumpy and outdated. So I think it would fit.
You're a hater.
What's the wooden coaster?
Thunderhawk.
Oh, it does stink big time.
I heard it was good when it had buzz
there's some wooden
bars.
coasters I hate a whole lot more. Like remember Grizzly at King's Dominion? Like that is like the worst one. Yeah, I do. It's so bad. It's crazy rough. Like it's literally just the whole time just jackhammering.
What's the like really scenic one that we went on at that like janky random part that everything was closed?
Janky random part.
It wasn't.
Oh, Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
Dude,
I hate Boulder Dash.
Well, the problem is like we got stapled. I think we sat in like the second or third row, so we didn't sit in the back row. It like the one time we went, that was in like 2019.
Oh, it's so terrible.
And like it was Boulder Dash, like it was open and we waited for it for like 30, 40 some minutes. Then it broke down, they cleared the line, then we had to wait for it again. So we waited twice for one ride, and it wasn't that great either. So like I would much rather sit in the back row, try to get some room. But like, and then maybe like I would know what the airtime is on Boulder Dash. But I agree with you. It's
I haven't ridden Boulder Dash since I was like 12, and I remember it being incredibly elite. But it was like 2009. So
but I mean,
I hadn't been on any other. That was the best wooden roller coaster I'd been on until Voyage and Mississippi Timber.
Yeah.
A bunch of news.
I have a similarly weird and outdated take in Ghost Rider, which is apparently like one of the greatest like wooden coasters like in the country, if not the world. I've ridden it once with my mom, who basically like had just had hip surgery, like a few months before, or needed hip surgery, or I forget when she was in that process, but yeah, she was like basically disabled and in pain, right? And the last but it was elite though, because she was riding around in a wheelchair all day, so we ended up like being able to go up like the handicap ramp and skip some lines and stuff. So we rode Ghost Rider, and it was like I think the last thing we rode that night, and I had heard good things about it, but this was in 2015. We went out to Southern California, and yeah, dude, it was crazy rough. Like it was the old PTC trains, and I'm pretty sure like those trains like weren't really meant for like that type of ride, and like they were just outdated as hell. And the track was just like I'm pretty sure there's a Problematic Coasters video about it, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I'm sure El Toro a lot. He knows a whole lot about it, but like dude, it was so rough and bad. I have it because so I don't really remember the layout that well, but I remember being I think on like the Helix, like somewhere in the middle, and like dude, the ride was just like lasting forever, and the whole time I'm just like I feel so bad that I dragged my like disabled mother on this, and I'm just like I'm sorry, mom, like the whole time just being just jackhammered. Yeah, so I have Ghost Rider ranked really low. Same thing with Boulder Dash. I mean, I'd love to get back to both of those parks and boost them up, but yeah.
We have one more question, and then you guys want to do like the actual.
Yeah, sure. We got pre-prepared questions, but we love these questions though. Keep them coming. Yeah.
Coaster Season says your favorite seat on a Giga coaster.
Which Giga?
Just pick one.
Yeah, right. And
next available.
Well, I was gonna say like I think Millennium Force and Orion are really different in that perspective. But I mean I probably say the front row. I mean, I haven't been on Fury yet, which I've just been dying to go there. Like, I thought I'd get there last year. I thought I could try and get there this year. Like, no, it's just like that's just been like my like heaven park that I just need to get to, like somehow, some way, like drop everything and go there at some point. But yeah, no, I mean, I'd probably say the front row because, like, I mean, yeah, they might have like decent airtime, but nothing beats like 90 miles an hour of wind just pelting your face the whole time. Like just that feeling of speed. Both Orion and Millennium Force. Oh, and then I guess I'm forgetting I-305. I-305 in the back probably, like just because of all those positives. Yeah. But since 2 out of 3, it's more about like the speed. I would say front.
I say, let me think, because I've done 4. There's 5 here in the States, right?
Yeah. Well, and then I guess the only ones not in the States are.
I've done 4. I'll tell you my favorite on each. Millennium, I believe, is a front row ride, just for the speed plus the bugs. Gotta love the bugs.
Yeah, right on Lake Erie, man. That sucks.
I-305 I like best in the back. Millennium has like the most drawn out drop, so I don't think sitting in the back like really accentuates the drop.
It's a very curved drop,
right? But I-305 is super steep, and I love the back, so I love getting whipped through the turns.
Yeah.
Orion, I like best in the front for the speed hill after the turnaround. Yeah, those two impressive airtime hills on Orion are actually really good. And then Fury 325, I like that in every seat in the front row, and then the corner seats in the last row, and then the second to last row. People need to stop sleeping on the second to last row because it has like most of the yank, but like I can feel the little bit of push from the back row.
Honestly, I feel like that's like the case with a lot of roller coasters in that, like, especially like RMCs too, like where you don't want to be in the very back row.
Yeah, I'm finding
you want to be like the front seat in that back car.
Yeah,
and the same thing with like El Toro, like you don't want to be on a wheel seat. So you want to be second to back row, which is like in the middle of the train.
Yeah, some people even like second to back car on El Toro. And that's what I'm kind of saying, like on RMCs especially, and this is not Gigas, yet, right? One day we'll be having this
Dude, yeah,
conversation.
one day we're
We'll
gonna have a
include
T-Rex.
RNC, hopefully.
Whenever Top
Yeah.
Thrill Dragster bites the dust, that's when there's going to be like a 300 or 400 foot.
Yeah, I'm really just starting to appreciate like row 2 and the row that's like second to back, just because you have the primary element of the one force, but a little bit of like a lip push, a little bit of pull.
Yeah, definitely.
Gigas are good in any seat.
Yeah, it's fun as hell.
Like I really notice a wind decrease if I'm not on an edge seat. If it's a 4-cross B&M, I notice like I'm not getting the same amount of wind,
Yeah.
which is a drag to me.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like on Millennium Force you sit like kind of lower, and the seats themselves aren't as big. So
Yeah.
on any row in Millennium Force you can feel the wind.
For
But
sure.
Orion, I think those like big like B&M like seats kind of like block some of the wind. So there's a significant difference with like the sensation of speed in Orion's front row than Millennium Force's front row, but both are just like crazy good in the front row. Like, I'd say front.
I hard agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have an opinion. I've been on one Giga.
What row did you like on I-305?
Front.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, you
there you
like
go.
black
Front.
out and die in the back every time. Every time you black
And
out.
I-305's
die.
got some crazy good speed too.
No,
so,
it hurts.
Yeah.
In a good way. All right. Official Q&A time. You ready?
Yep. Let's get it.
Question number 1. Short answers, but explain your answers. What's your current top 5 coasters? Explain why.
Should we go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3? Like go back and forth.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5 is Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure.
I bet you don't even know what that is.
Really
That doesn't sound
skyrocketed.
real.
Oh, it's
Shivering
Timbers. Yeah, it
Timbers.
sounds
Shivering
familiar.
Timbers.
Yeah, Shivering Timbers. I had like a near-death ride on this. Whoever the op was, I think his name was Michael. Dude, you made my road trip because I was there for like 5 hours. I did Cedar Point in the morning and then hiked it up to Michigan's Adventure. And I actually forfeited a couple of credits at Michigan's Adventure to ride Shivering Timbers a couple of times. But I did it in the front row. And yeah, Nick from Beyond Thrills was right. It's a stand-up roller coaster. If you get enough room, it is literally a stand-up roller coaster. It was insane.
It's probably like the Voyage.
It's the airtime, like when you kind of look at it, you might think like it looks like El Toro, like with all the hills, but the airtime is much more floaty.
Yeah.
But it's like nothing made me like it's more floater, but it's so
But then once you get over the camelback,
Yeah.
then it kind of
You're
like
just-
yanks you.
Yeah, and you're kind of standing up. I kind of stood up the whole time, and it was really fast. I didn't mind, and the rough spots I thought added to the character. There's an argument that it could be the best Cedar Fair roller coaster, period. But there's another ride in my top 5 that is like
I think it's in my
unequivocally one
top
of the better
5 too.
ones.
Yeah. So I think
What's your
if
5?
if my memory serves it correctly, I think my number 5 is Maverick right now. Yeah, because Twisted Timbers just barely doesn't make my top 5, which feels criminal. Like I love Twisted Timbers, but yeah, Maverick for me, dude. Like because it's
it's okay,
honestly like
right.
a lot of the stuff that we said about I-305 with its like crazy
Yeah.
good lateral ejector airtime, like where you're going back and forth like
Yeah.
and out of your seat and stuff. That all applies to Maverick. And like the thing is, I went into that knowing that it was like a good launch roller coaster
Yeah.
for my first ride in 2020. But I had no idea that it'd be like my favorite launch coaster ever.
Yeah, it's
And it still is. Like it's still
Yeah.
by far the next closest I think is like Mr. Freeze at like
Mm-hmm.
15 or 20 or something like that. Like and that's great too. But Maverick's insane. Like, love Maverick.
I love Maverick. I remember watching it get built as a kid, dude.
Oh wow.
And
yeah, dude, he's like an OG.
when it
enthusiast.
opened up, my family was at Cedar Point, and we rope dropped the week we were there. Like as soon as we were there, and I couldn't get there fast enough, and I was with my little sister, and I put her on my back. I was like, "We're running there," because I was like, "You can't keep up." I was like, "I'll carry you." And as we were running, I tripped, fell, and broke her arm. And she went to the first aid, and like they gave her some pain pills, and then she got on the ride. She like trooper throughout the day. My sister is the best, yo. Anyway, yeah.
Wait, she broke her arm, but then they still let her like on the ride.
Because the first aid isn't gonna like give you an X-ray. They're just gonna be like, here, we're gonna put ice on it. It wasn't until we got home afterwards that we realized part of her arm was like broken.
Wow, that's insane.
So yeah, and Maverick, when I rode it for the first time, it was like the first time I was like, wow, I think I found a ride I like more than Millennium Force and El Toro, which I never thought at the time could have ever
Yeah,
been topped.
that makes
Which is
sense.
crazy.
But so if we want to go like
No,
Yeah,
you
snake
took 4.
style,
Yeah.
and then my 4 is Iron Gwazi. Yeah, I mean that speaks for itself. I mean, I love the first half. I think it's like the best first half of out there, and I honestly end the first half after like the wave turn over the station.
Okay,
Then
that
everything
makes sense,
after that is pretty much kind of weaker. Like they're all good, like all the airtime hits, but it does feel like kind of like where you're just as
Yeah.
opposed to like half. It's each time it's like whoa, like you're like so far out of your seat. Like yeah, Iron Gwazi. Yeah, so that's top 4 for me.
My 4 is Fury 325. My favorite B&M.
That'd probably be top 5 for me too.
And I'm a recovering B&M hater. And I turned around that perspective this year. I rode Mako and it hit my top 20, and I was like, wow, so like a B&M Hyper can actually be really good. And I'd done Candemonium too, but I had to like get around to all the other B&M Hypers again to kind of adjust that opinion. But it had me so pumped for Fury. I went and rode Fury, did it like 8 times in the morning right away. Went around, got Copperhead, revisited some of the rides that I hadn't done in a while. But I had so much anxiety about not being in line for Fury that I broke down and bought Fast Lane while I was in line for Afterburn. And then I just went back to Fury. I ended up lapping it 47 times. So it's
That's insane.
it's right now it's my record
In
for
one
most,
day?
Yeah, 47 times in one day. It's my record. I'll probably never beat it.
Our record's what, 25 on Hydrus in one day. That's our record.
Really?
Fury is like 5 times as long as
Like the Casino Creek,
Hydrus.
remember in 2020 when we went to
Okay.
the ACL?
Oh, I thought you said Hydra.
No, Hydrus. No, I would not be able to do that. Hydra.
Hydra would have killed
Oh my
us if we
God,
did
no.
25 times.
Yeah, Hydra's got a way worse rattle than Hydrus.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Hydra. It's to go back to Dorney. Hydra and Talon, like Hydra's put in 4 years later, but it rattles like it was
No
put in
idea.
4 years
Yeah,
earlier.
and Talon's like butters.
And Talon runs like a brand new ride.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3, the 2 and 3 go back and forth like every day in my book. I'm gonna say right now I have Steel Vengeance at number 3. And when I ride Steel Vengeance, I just laugh. Every time Mike got 71 in one day on.
Why?
Well,
What's
I
wrong
think that was for like not charity. I think that was in honor of somebody like who like either died or had cancer or something. If I remember that
never
right.
mind.
Mike.
That's
No, I mean, that was pretty cool. Like I think
Mike.
it was like in support of that person.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Range
but honestly, like I think on a ride like Fury, like because it's B&M and like it's new, so hopefully like there isn't a rattle and stuff. So I think it's like doable. So yeah, I don't think that's too bad.
The come down, no one talks about this. Like everyone's like, wow, how do you do a marathon? Like the toughest part about a marathon is the come down. Like you walk out to your car and it feels like you were on drugs like all day. Like your
Yeah.
brain is so fried from adrenaline and dopamine that like you're afterwards just in this like state. I can't even explain it.
Yeah. But Steel Vengeance
The
is your
Steel
3.
Vengeance, yeah, it makes me laugh like a hyena when I ride it. And I like hit the brake run in tears every time, and then I go, this is my number 1. But then I like think about it and I'm like, I don't know if I can absolutely put it at number 1. But I totally get the idea that it was built to be the best and it succeeds in that.
Yeah.
On some level.
I'll revisit Steel Vengeance, but yeah, my number 3 is I-305, and we already talked plenty about that. Yeah, I-305 is insanely good.
Amazing.
Amazing. It's a super fun ride. We already talked all about that.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is El Toro. Still, like El Toro,
sick pick.
I do. That was my number 1 for so long. And the fact that my number 1, when it passed it, like actually did pass it, like I really couldn't believe it, because like I really did think like you with Maverick, like I thought El Toro was always going to be like number 1 for me. And yeah, so El Toro is like still crazy good. I think I have like close to 100 lifetime. Actually, no, I think I have like high 90s lifetime rides on that. That's why it sucked last year when it derailed. Yeah, no, because the thing is, like, I think the time that we visited Great Adventure, or I guess the last time I rode El Toro, we got like 5 rides in that day, And part of me was like, all right, let's get like 2 more so I can have like the 100 lifetime rides or whatever. But then the other part of me was like, oh no, like we're good. Like we'll come back here like in a couple weeks or whatever. Like
You should get back to abuse the single rider line because you can ride it like 3 times in less than 20
Is it
minutes.
single rail
On El Toro, yeah.
that's a new
It's
policy.
legalized
They
line
mentioned,
cutting.
yeah.
I don't think the ops at Six Flags know what a single rider line is or what they're supposed to do with it because they just let you in whenever and they go just pick a row, you know.
Yeah,
It's
getting in front of other people.
They're just skipping. Yeah.
So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Iron Gwazi. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody watching this is hip to why that ride is so amazing. Like it's
He's got an 86 on an I-305 on a day.
dude,
Time, like that's crazy.
that's
I
brain
cannot do
damage,
that.
man. That's nuts.
Just literally like hospitable
Wow.
offensive right there.
Yeah, that's my number 2. Iron Gwazi. I love the pacing. I love the airtime. Again makes me laugh like a crazy person. And then my number 1 is the Voyage. To me, it is like the poster child of coaster enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I think it is what the hobby is all about. And, you know, I kind of like, I've had two different day experiences on that. I rode it last year, 2 days after Hollywood. I rode it like the day after Keys of the Kingdom, 2021. I went to Hollywood the next day.
Yeah, somehow
everybody else.
I went to Hollywood Nights like the same time, or like we were both in like the Midwest at the same time.
Different ways.
Yeah, and then I guess we both went to Keys of the Kingdom, but you didn't go to Hollywood Nights.
I didn't go to Hollywood
We went
Nights.
to
I don't
Hollywood
regret it
after
either.
us. Yeah.
But I was just back at Holiday World. I planned another Midwest trip this year, because I knew I was going to do Iron Gwazi, and I was like, I kind of went, and I had other bucket list Woodies to go ride, but I needed to ride Voyage again, and that ride just makes me cheer, dude. It is.
That's what Top Thrill Dragster
absolutely-
made me do.
Yeah,
When I
that's
finally,
fun.
dude, I literally was celebrating as I was riding it because, like, honestly, like, I didn't know if it was something I would ever get on, especially like, I mean, I think it's going to reopen, but like, you know, I was a little bit worried, and I was honestly just reminiscing about the rides that I got the other day because, like, I'm just glad I've been on it 3 times. And yeah, dude, I was literally like my hands up in the air, just like cheering like the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Like I was seriously was just so happy to finally ride it and to finally ride a coaster like that doesn't have the stupid friggin' over the shoulder restraints like King Ka does. Like I'm like, this is what freedom feels like.
It's got a better view.
I think I did like Will Ferrell in the other guys when he hits the gas, and I think I yelled America. I was like America, and like as I'm riding Top Thrill Dragster, I think that's actually
half the people on that train.
I felt patriotic. I loved this country when I rode that. I was like, wow, I can't believe Cedar Point exists. And Top Thrill Dragster.
Your number 2 and 1.
I already said my
your
number 2.
number
I
one,
think. My number 2. I just blanked. Oh yeah, El Toro.
There we go.
And my number 1, he said it earlier. It's Steel Vengeance. Like I'm call me a normie. You know, call me like everybody else. Like, but like I mean, I like to base like coaster enthusiasts, being a coaster enthusiast off of like what Airtime Thrills thinks, and like lots of other people like think that too. I think like Coaster Studios, like a lot of other different people, like at least have it like I mean you have it in your top 5 too.
Yeah.
But like I mean it might be like a normal take. It might be like pretty like average, like for everybody to have Steel Vengeance is number 1. But like, dude, it's just it's number 1 in so many books for really good reason. Like it just lasts forever. It's just like airtime. Like it just keeps going, and like there's like so much variety, and like dude, I love Steel Vengeance. I think I wrote it for the first time in 2020, and then I rewrote it last year just for some reassurance, like where I was like, after I got off, I was like, yeah, that's definitely still my number 1. Like no shot anything else is above
as
that.
I said so politely in my Instagram story the other night, I would love to hear an argument against Steel Vengeance that doesn't include I like Kings Island more than Cedar Point. Like every Steel Vengeance hater has to throw in that they like Kings Island. I'm just saying.
Hi, Molly.
What's the that's our top 5s. What else we got for us?
Okay, well, my top 5, no one asked.
What is your? No, we want to hear your top 5. We want to hear your top 5.
Are super fun. I don't even know. My number 5.
Pretty sure I made a
is-
list for you. Just like
I
I
could
lost
probably
it.
guess.
I lost it. My number 5 is Candemonium.
Oh my gosh.
My number 4 is
Pandemonium's underrated.
Joker at Six Flags Great Adventure.
Also, well, Mike's about to have a
I
heart
was about to
attack.
You're not preaching to the right choir.
Mike's about to lose his mind.
I think it's so fun. I love it so
Meanwhile,
much.
I'm thinking like Joker, like Discovery Kingdom or something.
Yeah, no.
No, Joker at Six Flags Great Adventure is my favorite.
Not
I
that
love
we've
that
ever
roller
been this
coaster. My number 3 is Skyrush. My number 2 is El Toro. My number 1 is I-305. I will not be going into any explanation. I don't need to defend myself.
Ooh, here we
There we
Not
go.
in his top 10, but he's not a King's Island lover. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm with you, Mike.
I think in my park rankings, I forget if I put Cedar Point back above Kings Island or not. But I honestly feel like as far as like a park atmosphere goes, I think Kings Dominion does it like slightly better, especially like the entry plaza thing. Because like I mean I already loved Kings Island's like what was it called like their what?
He's like, kick me out of the line.
Yeah, free spin. Yeah, right. No, literally.
I love
This is for
them.
enthusiasts only. Like that's a GP take. But what was I saying? Yeah, like what's the main entrance area called? Like at Kings Island and Kings Dominion, like they're like World Carnival or something like that, or like I don't know,
That's
World
the
Plaza,
Grand Carnival, that thing they do.
World's Plaza, or like whatever, like
Main-
where all
Main
the fountains,
Street.
where
Main
all the
Street.
fountains are, and like the nice buildings and whatnot. But the thing I like
International
is
Street.
international.
there it
Thank
is.
you. Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, I love like all the trees and stuff that Kings Dominion has. And I think they have like a slightly better park atmosphere. I mean, obviously Kings Dominion overall has like a better lineup, but then, or excuse me, like the Kings Island has a better overall lineup. Like
Does it?
it's more well rounded,
Here,
but
wait.
then Kings Dominion has a better top 2.
Let me use
So,
you as a
yeah,
segue
it's
to our
tough.
next question. I'm gonna skip this one real quick. We'll come back. What's your favorite park for theming / atmosphere?
Oh yeah.
Silver
Yeah,
Dollar
atmosphere.
City. Silver Dollar
Oh,
City.
yeah. I mean, well, I haven't been there, but I that's a good one. I would say, actually, I think I just personally put Busch Gardens Tampa as my number 1 overall park after riding Iron Gwazi. I mean, that might spoil future videos. I mean, I haven't really done park
It's got
ranking
nothing to do
videos.
with theming.
Yeah, theming.
Yeah, I guess
for theming.
not. But the thing is, like, but they have all the wildlife and
That's
stuff.
the
And, like,
next
they have a
question.
really nice atmosphere. I wouldn't say it's like theming on the individual rides, but I think the park itself is a themed park because it's themed to like Africa and like safari and animals
It
and
is,
stuff.
yeah.
So I would probably because then apart from that, like I would probably put like Kings Island up there with like atmosphere and Kings Dominion, and I have Busch Gardens
I was just
right
saying,
higher than both of
You're
them.
not saying Busch Gardens Williamsburg? That's mine.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's,
that-
no. Honestly, yeah.
The vibes
Park is
there are
a lot-
I was about to say,
unmatched.
yeah, no, she's probably got it better. Yeah, but I would say Busch Gardens Williamsburg's definitely high up there. But then, I mean, as far as like actual theme parks go, not necessarily just like Thuzy parks, you can't not mention like Universal and like Islands of Adventure and stuff. Like that's like
I'll
that's like
mention
insane, like the atmosphere. Theme,
Universal is the worst themed experience you can go to. I hardcore believe
Really?
that, and I will mention it as many times as I can. I find the theming at those places to be overly obnoxious.
Where?
Like Universal and Disney parks, I don't find that theming appealing like one bit.
You don't like Harry Potter World or whatever it is?
I mean, it's cool, but like
Nah.
I don't want to shell out like all that money for like 3 roller coasters
Yeah.
that like feel like I'm watching a movie.
That's
Like
true.
like they say, like,
Yeah,
I feel like half the budget goes into getting Chris Pratt to do like a
A
video.
quick video. Yeah.
It's like how is this themed? Like you watch Chris Pratt at Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you take your family to Universal the next day, and then you watch him at Velocicoaster. Like, doesn't that
is
take
really
you
strange.
out of
It
that?
is really
like,
strange.
I don't know. It's
I-
not for me.
I think that
Give
you
me
guys,
a ride that's themed to
He's like
the
the king of themed parks in
Parks, yeah.
Orlando.
You guys might have a different
I-
opinion on it because you're like super into roller coasters. There's people who are like really into like stuff like that, like
Go
Disney.
for it.
Like people
for
who
it.
love Disney.
Go
so-
to Universal. Stay
Nah,
out of
not my thing.
SeaWorld, Orlando. Let me marathon makeup.
There you go. You haven't been to Great Escape, right?
No,
You have you?
I want to go to
I
Great
have
Escape in the fall.
not. That is it's in my plans, but maybe not if it's going to cost me $450 to get.
Yeah, I mean, figuring that- well, the new Six Flags
That's-
CEO, hopefully, like he's out, but you know.
There we go.
But yeah, no, I mean, like it as far as like atmosphere and themed parks and stuff, it's kind of like a tough question. I mean, I would probably go with Busch Gardens Tampa, just
I
because
love-
like, it's my number one overall.
I agree with Mike, who says that Silver Absolutely is perfect and it's number
Yeah.
one overall park.
Yeah.
I
So you got a
agree,
good
Mike.
take in his opinion.
Yeah, that's. I totally agree with that. I was there a year ago today, and I had one of the most memorable days ever. But yeah, what you said about Williamsburg, I love Williamsburg. I really appreciate the music at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I am a professional musician, for those who may not be aware, and I play in a wedding band as part of like one of my gigs. And when I go to a park and just hear wedding band tunes, it makes me like want to rip my brain out of my head. But if I go and I hear like, first of all, when you go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, they greet you with jazz, and I majored in jazz, so like I really appreciate hearing that. And then like you go to France, you hear like accordion stuff, and you're in Ireland, they got great live music
They
there.
have like the Italian section too, or the
Yeah,
Greek
they got
section or
good
something.
shows at,
It's so
at
good.
Busch Gardens Williamsburg. That place is a notch above, especially in the SeaWorld chain, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
Unrelated, but also related. My ex played in one of the bands at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, though. Or no, King's Dominion or something like that, right?
Yeah.
What's the one? King's Dominion. He played like one of the bands that like walk around. What's your opinion on those?
I remember seeing a brass band at like Busch Gardens Williamsburg one time, and they were so entertaining. Like they were playing like all these songs, and they did like this shtick. They were like, "We can play any song in the world," and they were like, "You don't believe?" And like, so they're yelling, "Who doesn't believe?" And then someone else, "What do you want to hear?" And no one says anything, and he goes, "You want to hear Pinball Wizard?" We got you. Like, what'd they say?
Did they play it?
Hound Dog? Yeah, they were really good. I've got a lot of friends being a musician that like work for this company called Windish Music.
Mhm.
They do like all the booking for Cedar Fair. I've been asked to do shows at these places, and I tell them, I'm like, you think you might be hiring the right guy because I love coasters and I love music, but I'm like, I don't want to devote my whole summer to one park
Yeah.
or one gig for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I mean, honestly, I think about that a lot as far as like people who have been ride operators.
oh
like,
yeah.
I think it would be like cool maybe for like a summer, but like I also feel like it would kind of ruin it because like people are rude to ride operators and like you're out in like the hot sun.
Yeah.
Or like even if you're in the shade, it's still like hot as hell. And like I don't know. I think it would ruin the theme park or amusement park experience for me. Like if I were a ride operator, because like and then it's just like repetitive because you're just like sending out the same ride over and over and over again. It's just like I don't know. Like or then you're working on like the crappy flat rides because you don't know like what you're gonna get assigned to,
I'm
right?
sorry. No
Or-
flat ride
or-
meeting
or
in this
like-
house.
Or you might get a business internship through Six Flags
Yeah.
and work at like one of like the friggin' what's it called like the games on like the boardwalk.
the carnies.
Yeah, the
glorified
carnival
carnies,
games.
yeah.
Like what? Like no, that'd be terrible. Oh my god.
There's no
Okay.
flat ride hating in this house. I love
Yo, what's
flat
up, Lucan?
rides. All right.
Western New York coasters in the building.
Woo-woo.
Any of you been on Hellcat at Clementon Park?
So we actually planned on going there
Yeah,
today.
we were
Me and
supposed to go
Nate.
today.
He has the Indiana Beach season pass, and they just allegedly, according to their Instagram story, which I sent to you, but like I was looking for it today. I didn't realize it was just on their story. I should have screenshotted it. I still just want to make sure that it's true. They apparently do free weekday guest tickets, but then they extended that deal for season pass holders on Sundays. So we were going to try to go today. Luckily, I called first, and apparently Hellcat was closed today. So he's been on Hellcat. I have
Yeah.
not, but that's probably the closest park to us right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's literally 25, 30 minutes away.
It is. I teach piano lessons around the corner, so a couple times this year I've stopped in for a quick ride before I go to work. It's my take on Hellcat, man, is that it's a great layout, and if you don't like it, take it up with Alan Schilke because he designed it. And
I want an RMC 20
Yeah.
minutes away from my house.
I really think it only needs 208
RMC
or
it.
Titan track because I actually think the ride's actually pretty fun in the front row. But right now they have the back rows coned off, so like,
That's crazy.
Really?
yeah, they you can't. It's only a 4-car train. They're
Why?
small, and I think all the S&S Woodies had really small trains, so it's a 4-car train, and They don't even fill half of it. But it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because it's a walk-on all the time.
There you
It's
go.
so the thing is, I have actually been to Clementon Park when I was a little kid. You know, I grew up in South Jersey, and it is just a bizarre park. Like we honestly we went there and we
Yeah.
were like kind of uncomfortable because we were like, this place is so
It's sketchy.
weird. It's like it's not nice. So
It
yeah,
will
we
be, though.
did, we definitely didn't like it that much. I think we might have rode like the log flume
Log Flume's
and mostly
dope.
did maybe like water park stuff because that's like included with both, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
why that park is
yeah.
mainly busy because of the water park.
Yeah, we did not like. That was probably like the first time we went to a park where, like, at least growing up, like we were like, I think we did a couple things, and then halfway through the day, we were like, yeah, we can go. Like we just left. So yeah, I haven't been back since then. I was probably like maybe I don't know, like 8 years old or something. But yeah, no, I haven't been on Hellcat, unfortunately.
To Gene Staples.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, he's wearing the Indiana Beach hoodie. Yeah.
Beach hoodie.
Yeah. He's well for context.
Yeah,
he's the
no, I
guy
know,
that-
I know,
oh,
I
you
know.
GC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Gene Staples.
I have my question. I have another question for you guys. Do you know it's a theme park in PA themed to pasta and spaghetti? Do you guys know about this?
Where?
I don't know. There's 2 credits there, and it's like a pasta one, like a spaghetti sauce
Del
company.
Grosso's?
Yes.
Have you been there?
No. Can we go? There's 2 credits.
Yeah, I will go.
There's
Yeah,
2
that's
credits
right. That's
there.
right near Lakemont Park.
I don't know. I
You
saw,
know
it,
about
I
this?
saw it on TikTok.
Ah,
Some
there it is.
newsie I
Yeah,
follow on
she-
TikTok
okay.
posted about it.
Yeah, dude, I love it. That's not far from Penn State. So yeah, like, hey, we're making plans on the live stream. Let's do it. Let's
I do have to
Yeah,
go there.
thank you. Yeah,
her brother goes to Penn State, so like let's go visit him. Let's hit up Del Grosso's,
We
Lake
are.
Park. You ride like the oldest coaster in the country, Leap the Dips.
And they have a pasta bar. They make the pasta in front of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'm
That's,
sold.
that's my draw there. Okay. That's,
See,
that's
what's
drawing.
funny is if you hadn't known that, if I were to ever go there, I'd probably just like go for the 2 credits and like leave like, immediately, like 20 minutes. Like if I could
Yeah,
just be there for
I'd
20
probably
minutes,
pair it
like.
with Knoebels.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, okay, well, that and like I would want to like try and get like multiple rides on Leap the Dips, and like that would probably be what I would
Yeah.
prioritize. Same with like Skyliner, or even catch like because the Altoona Curve, the minor league baseball team play like right there.
Oh,
So like like that would be pretty cool too. So anyway,
All right. Well,
that's funny you know about
Just-
that place.
just
That's
wanted
so
to bring
random.
it up before I forgot about it. What is your biggest bucket list coaster / park in the U.S. and then the second part in the world? So start with US.
Which one, coaster or park? Should we do it?
Why
Let's
don't you do
coaster.
Why don't you do
Coaster.
coaster in the U.S., coaster in the world? Nate starts, then Jack, and then world
Yeah, sure.
or whatever. U.S. and then world.
Park
Park,
in
whatever.
the US.
Do what you need.
so my bucket list, man, 2022 has been a good year for my
Yeah, because you've
bucket
gotten so many
list.
bucket list coasters.
I hit
yeah.
so many things this year, and more to come because I'm getting a Magic Mountain for my first time this year. So I'm finally gonna get to ride X2 and Twisted Colossus and the parking lot B&M.
I was about to say you got so many big plans coming up. Like,
And
I
I'm
just
going
don't.
to Fiesta, Texas around Christmas time.
Yep.
I'm taking advantage of that Six Flags Pass before they spike the prices. So, so I'll finally get to do Iron Rattler and that. But my number one bucket list thing now, aside from those Six Flags parks I'm going to, I'm dying to go to Mount Olympus, and I have been since I was a child.
What is that?
Mount Olympus
It's in
is in the Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm dying to ride Hades. I mean, I love wooden roller coasters. So
It's not as nice of a park as
park-
it sounds. It's kind of a weird.
why do you think I want to go?
Yeah.
After watching like Park Bros Cole's video
Yeah.
on like why the place is like sketchy, I was like, I need to go here. This place looks hilarious. Like it seems so fun.
Which I meant to say that's funny that she pronounced it Zambezi Zinger because I was
Oh, 'cause
roasting
that's
Cole
how
How's
Cole
it
pronounces
pronounced?
it.
It's Zambezi,
Zambezi.
which I know that because I'm a geography nerd too. Apart from coasters, like I'm familiar with the word Zambezi. Like I think it's a city in Africa. So yeah, so I already knew that, but I think he posted a TikTok / reel that said Zambezi. I corrected him. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, so what's your like bucket list coaster then? In the U.S. and in the world.
Well, yeah. So Hades, what I think is my
Hades in the
bucket list
U.S. and
coaster.
then what about in the world?
Aside from X2, but I'm going there. In the world, Untamed Wallaby. What's that?
Interesting.
Holland.
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah. Untamed looks like my kind of ride. Like if I could only go to maybe Expedition G-Force because I've been wanting to ride that forever as well. But if I had to I think if I had to go to Europe tomorrow and only ride one thing, I'd pick Untamed.
Molly's offering some tickets to Mount Olympus if you need them.
Oh, if I can find a way to fly out there and do one day, I'll hit you up on Instagram. That'd be awesome.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So you said Untamed.
Untamed,
Okay. No, honestly, I just watched the. I don't know if you've been following Coaster Dash's
dude.
Europe.
What an
Europe
epic trip
Yeah,
this
it was almost like
dude's
2
on. Oh my
months. No, I think
God.
he just came back, or he's
Yeah.
coming back right now. But yeah, no, I watched a bunch of his vlogs, and honestly, I don't think I'd ever really watched a full POV of Untamed, but that looks crazy. That looks like
really
a lot
crazy.
like Twisted Timbers. It
Yeah,
just keeps going.
But out and back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
A
think
lot of low to the ground inversions.
Yeah.
Those look awesome.
I've never done, because I feel like people are already thinking about oh, what about Zadra? I've never done one of
I'd probably
those
put Zadra,
huge
yeah.
RMC stalls that go under the lift hill.
Yeah, like on Goliath.
But to me, they look overrated. I don't know,
Twisted
but
Colossus.
I've never done one. They look overrated.
Well, hopefully, when you go to Magic Mountain, you actually get a duel on Twisted Colossus, and so then you can actually
Oh, no,
experience
I'm
the Top Gun stall.
I'm talking about one of the stalls like the huge ones that
Yeah.
are underneath.
Well, I mean, the Top Gun
Goliath.
stall is pretty much the
Is it
same
the
thing.
same?
Yeah, it's because it's a drawn out one. It's just that
That always
it's a
looks
dueling
so-
coaster,
so
so there's an
fast.
airtime hill under it
Yeah.
of the other track. But anyway, yeah. So my most anticipated in the U.S. We already mentioned it earlier. He's been on it this year. It's Fury. It's Fury 325. I need that so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Once I get on that, then maybe I'd be in the ballpark of you as maybe X2 or I'm trying to think of some of the other one. Yeah, I guess it would probably be X2 after that in the U.S. Then in the world, you mentioned it again. I'd probably say Zadra. Yeah, I mean, because that thing looks insane.
Coaster Madness champion. You follow
Oh, really?
Coaster 365. He does this competition every March.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
the
And they
coaster
actually
voted the best coaster.
we
in the
were
world.
joking on Twitter. We were like, dude, you're gonna get a plaque put up at different entrances. You know how they put ace landmarks and stuff. And Energy Landia actually put up a plaque for Coaster
No way.
Madness, which is only 1,000 of us on Twitter or something.
That's so
who are,
funny. That's
who are,
awesome.
voting. Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, no, Zadra. Honestly,
Looks really- it
I
does
would
look
I would
sick.
put that really high
Looks
up. But
fast.
then again, to mention Coaster Dash again, I think his new number one is Ride to Happiness at Foxland. Yeah.
It is.
And that looks crazy for context because I'm sure she has not heard of that. But it's a weird name. Yeah, it's a mock extreme spinner. So I don't know if you've heard of Time Traveler, Silver Dollar City. But it's
love
like
Time
that,
Traveler.
but apparently better because it's launched and that looks insane too. But because I almost feel like it's really comparable, right? Because Fury seems familiar to me, right? It's a B&M gig. I've been on plenty of B&Ms. I've been on Orion. I mean, obviously it'll be better than any other B&M I've been on, but I'm familiar with B&M, right? But I've never been on a mock extreme spinner. And then I've never been on X2 either, and that's a crazy spinning coaster as well, just a different direction. So I almost feel and then Zadra, same thing. I've been on Steel Vengeance, I've been on Iron Gwazi. I have an idea of what it'll ride like. So as far as bucket list coasters, Zadra, I have an idea of what it would be like. But Ride to Happiness, I don't even think I'd be able to fathom that. Because I can't even really imagine how that rides. So I would say that's why Zadra for me is my main international bucket list coaster. But yeah, Ride to Happiness is definitely up there too. But yeah, I guess bucket list parks then too.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to do all those either. I don't know. We're probably going to be doing this maybe till 8:30 or something. I think.
Hour,
Maybe, yeah. Probably good. But anyway,
Raise your hand if you're still hanging out and having fun.
Yeah, we keep putting the cursor over how many people. Okay, cool. We got
I'm
7
not-
people.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to have pressure. No pressure.
No, it's I just want to keep an eye on it. Anyway, but yeah, Airtime Mike said X2 is amazing. I hope that the SNS version is that they put one in the volcano plot.
Mhm.
Whoa, I never thought about that, dude.
You think
they just got a free
waist
spin.
coaster rumor from back in the day could
Well,
be
no, because the
SNS
thing is, I
thing?
swear to God, some of those rumors come out because they
Mhm.
try to gauge whether or not people
Well,
like
people
it, and
like
so I don't think they're going to do that at all because they probably put it out there as a leak to just try to get public opinion on it, and everyone hated on it. It's no,
You know
we're
what
not
would
main
look
coaster.
great, Mike, in the
That'd be
volcano
crazy.
plot? You know what would look great? You'll love this. A new restaurant.
Yeah, no, dude, it's a prime location for a brand new barbecue spot. It's
And
great.
maybe a wild mouse.
Jungle Expedition Barbecue. I think they already have a restaurant, but like just build another one right across.
Do they have a free spin?
But what?
Do they have a free spin?
He knows the
No,
project.
they do.
Oh,
For
you
dealing.
two,
That,
two free spins.
yeah, another free spin.
Another free spin.
$30 million.
30. Whoa! Wait, really? Wow.
They're probably using all that on a
Well,
show.
I mean, I hope it's that, honestly. Like, but if we don't get lucky enough to have that, I mean, I'd take an Axis too.
Oh, that would be so sick.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that would be a pretty worthy, replacement as well.
Kings Dominion feels like a testing ground park for Cedar Fair,
Yeah.
and that's why I kind of like it so much.
Yeah,
They don't do the corporate decisions there like they do. Like my visits to Kings Island and Carowinds they just feel so corporate. Like they're not just everything's so safe. Orion is super safe. So is like putting in a B&M invert in 2015. That's not pushing any envelope,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
Whereas Kings Dominion is like,
screw
That-
it.
that was
We'll
the
build a
place-
Giga that's going to make people pass
yeah,
out.
exactly. And it was a place that Cedar Fair felt comfortable testing RMC with. Working with S&S again, putting a free spin in. I wouldn't be surprised to see more free spins pop up around
Yeah.
the Cedar Fair chain, mainly in places like Valley Fair
Hopefully
and
Valley Fair.
Dorney Park.
No, fingers crossed for Valley Fair, man. Like I'm rooting for them to get a new coaster. Like oh yeah, dueling restaurants. It's funny.
I actually think the Axis coaster would fit the Jungle Expedition area quite well. Actually,
yeah.
I think like that.
Or like he
uniqueness
said, like
of
an
ours.
S&S version of the
Oh yeah,
what's the model called? Actually, like the 40,
40
not free spin, but
multi-dimensional.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
That's what it's called in Roller Coaster Tycoon. So
yeah. Anyway,
That's what I go
but yeah, so we're doing bucket list parks, right? So in the U.S., I would go probably Silver City is your guys' like number one park. But I mean that's for mostly like theming and stuff. But and then I'd also go like Six Flags Magic Mountain, obviously. Like I mean you can't really beat 20 credits. Like that's insane. Yeah, and then in the world, I'd also go lots of credits and go Energylandia, honestly, because they get all that Polish government money and they just build like every freaking thing that they want, and like that park looks insane. And then same thing with like the either like coaster lineup and then also theming. I'd probably go like Fantasialand, like or
Fantasialand
Fantasialand, or like how it's pronounced. Yeah.
I'd like to go to Alton Towers too.
Is that where the Smiler is?
Mhm.
I want to go there too.
Hey,
I'd like
she knows a thing or two.
I've been to
What is
one
the
international
Smiler?
park. I have been to Thorpe Park, which I enjoyed, but I kind of remember leaving and saying like we should have gone to
Alton Towers. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Have you been on Oscar's Wacky Taxi? Right? Yeah.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
Yeah.
my 250th. It was
Dude.
really good.
I don't remember what number that was for me, but that honestly belongs at a better park than Sesame Place. I mean, granted, like actually, which is closer, Sesame Place or Clementon Park? I guess they're about the
Clementon.
same difference.
Clementon.
Okay, but the Sesame Place is pretty close too. And honestly, my work is like 5 minutes away from there, and I'm shocked that I haven't taken advantage of just like going there after work yet, because I have the SeaWorld pass like through Sesame Place, so I should go there. But in a way, like Wacky Taxi is sort of like Hellcat, where sometimes it'll just be closed for like no reason, and like you can't really. I think they changed their customer service at the park to where you can actually call the park now. But I remember last year we tried to do that, and it would just take you to corporate Six Flags, or not Six Flags, but like corporate SeaWorld
Even when
Yeah.
we were in the parking lot of SeaWorld or
of Sesame Place. Like we like couldn't call the actual park to ask,
really
hey,
funny.
is this open?
Mhm.
But yeah, no, the one time that I have ridden Oscar's Wacky Taxi, dude, it's a crazy ride. I think me and Taylor Maverick Motion went there, and we got like 15 rides on it. And yeah, seriously,
It seems
it's
necessary.
got like the dumbest, most childish name for what is otherwise like a pretty aggressive family coaster. Like that, it has some aggressive airtime, and it's so good. And comparing it to Kentucky Flyer, like it just absolutely buries Kentucky
Yeah,
Flyer.
it
Like
does.
it's not even close.
How about the
Yeah, I
second
love
part
Oscar
of this
Wacky
comment? I like this.
Ooh.
And what are your
What?
thoughts on what's going on with Sesame Place right now?
Oh yeah, no, that's tough. I mean, latest from the park is that they have now introduced like a new diversity and inclusivity training and like, you know, so that the employees learn about like equity and stuff. I think like big companies and like big parks and stuff already did a version of that, but maybe Sesame Place wasn't doing well enough. All I know is like based on the videos of what happened, like that is a horrible look, and it's one of the cringiest videos I've honestly ever seen.
But have you
Like,
seen?
and
the
there's
other
multiple
parks?
angles. Yeah.
No, have you seen the other parks like not like benefiting, but playing off of that video? Like I saw a video from Disney, like someone put it on TikTok of characters like going out of their way to like hug like.
Oh,
African
see,
children.
yeah, that's
And
just
then they
like,
posted
oh,
like
man.
on their like corporate TikTok. And I'm
See,
like,
to me, that's almost just as cringy, but it's also kind of savage. Like it's like roasting them, but like, I don't know. It's
they're playing
just
off of the media
yeah.
spin. That's all it is.
yeah, it's just man, like that was tough to watch, honestly. And then there were so many different angles of it. Yeah, so I mean, it's good that like I would say Sesame Place is doing everything that a company could. Hopefully, it's like this may sound cliche, but hopefully it's just like a couple of bad apples. And I know that like companies always say that, but hopefully it's just a couple of employees who are just kind of like jerks.
Yeah.
And hopefully they have since been let go, and that the park can do a better job not to hire people.
There's
I
something.
think that's all they really can.
There's something especially horrible because it's Sesame Place.
Yes.
Because like you wouldn't.
And then Sesame Street too, like it's
come on.
diverse. Like they always like put like
Sesame-
diverse
Sesame
actors
Street.
on the
Yeah,
It's
show.
horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All right, moving on to more fun
But the
questions.
park is doing pretty much all they can, really.
Yeah.
What is your rarest credit? And I bet I beat you guys out on this.
What, Gwazi?
No, because I have the one. I mean, yeah, I have.
Oh, yeah,
I have
yeah.
OG Gwazi because
I
I
have
grew up in
OG
Florida.
Gwazi.
Okay, well, I have Dueling Dragons, and I have. Do you have both sides of Gwazi?
According to my list, yeah,
Okay, have you been to Bushkill Park?
I have not been.
All right, well, that's my. I have rare credits for Bushkill Park because I grew up in that part of PA.
See, I just saw somebody went there a month or two ago. I think one of the people on KP Coasters went there, and it like got me thinking. I'm like, man, like I should go there too. But like the coaster that they have, it's literally like less than a kiddie coaster. Like it's one of those like little like not even wisdom rides. Like
Is it
so
like that
there's
little
kiddie
Fisher
coasters where
Price
people can
slide?
fit in. But I am I'm 6'3", and I genuinely
You
don't
won't
know
fit
if
in
I
that.
would. I don't know.
No way.
I really don't like, and I don't know if they would let me either. So I don't want to go all the way out there. Which then again, like that's in her hometown in Easton.
I
But
know the owner. I
Really?
could finagle you on there. Huh?
There you go. I mean, I'd like to. Yeah. No, I mean, but yeah, no, that is a super rare credit. But at least for me, what defines rare? I mean, I guess like I would like to mention defunct coasters though. Like I've ridden Python that used to be at Playland's Castaway Cove. That was my first ever inverted coaster. That it was just literally just like a Pinfari Cyclone that has like a single loop. That's where Gale Force is now. But my rarest coaster, which is also like probably my most embarrassing credit, is one that I literally drove, I think like 4 hours round trip for in Florida, just like down and back. And it's literally like, just because I remember like a few years ago hearing about like state completion, like getting every coaster in a single state. And I was trying to do that for Florida. So I drove all the way down to Zoomer's Amusement Park in Fort Myers, Florida, which is 2 hours from where my family lived in Bradenton, Florida. And yeah, like that was kind of embarrassing driving all the way down there and all the way back. And yeah, it was literally for just like a dragon wagon. Like I think it's called like Cobra or something. Like, and it was just like, just wanted the credit and
rare credit.
just go back.
Don't
Yeah,
say it has
it's
to
in the
be
middle
credit.
of nowhere. Like yeah, so like
Yeah.
that's probably my rarest credit.
My rare credits. I mean, I rarely go out of my way for like weird +1s or anything like that. So all of my rare credits are now defunct credits. So like, Son of Beast.
Oh, he's got so many. rare credits,
Hypersonic, XLC, Hercules, and Laser, like the old stuff at Dorney Park. But I probably have to go Son of Beast, and I rode it like the 1 year it didn't have a loop, so I guess that makes it more of a rare credit than the ones.
No, didn't they get rid of the loop after like?
I think it didn't have the loop for like 2 years.
Oh really?
Yeah, it
Oh,
had
wow.
the loop way longer than it didn't.
I would have loved to experience that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a little. I rode in 2008, so I was like
At the very
12.
tail end, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the very tail end of the ride, and I did not like it.
No, I don't think anybody did. But the thing is,
did not
like,
it.
dude,
To
so
be
there's
honest.
a reason why his Instagram account is called Hawk0G. So definitely give him a follow if anybody like that doesn't follow him already.
Mike's just
but,
not
like,
that bad, dude. I cried after it. I was
What?
12. I conked
Wasn't
heads
that
with my
bad?
brother on the ride. I got off. I was in tears, man.
Yeah, no,
It was bad.
but like. No, so there's a reason why you're Hawk0G / Hawk OG.
Yeah.
Like you're like an OG enthusiast, and your dad's an enthusiast too. So that's why you have all these like crazy old like coasters or pictures of coasters.
I got a bunch of old film photographs. My dad
Yeah,
took in, like, the
and
80s.
no, I think it's super cool. Meanwhile, like I didn't really get into roller coasters till 2019, and I by default like she kind of got into them around that time too, like that 2020.
Flat rides.
So yeah, I'm like I don't know, I just got kind of into it like in college, I guess.
Oh, I have a new question.
What's up? Yeah.
What's your
favorite flat
What's your
ride?
favorite flat ride?
Wonder Woman. Great Adventure.
Yeah. All right.
Easy.
Does Demon Drop count?
Probably, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a flat ride.
Unless you consider it
Does
a
that
credit,
count as
which
a
I
credit?
don't. It's debatable.
It's not a credit.
I count it as a credit.
It's not a credit.
Really?
You do?
Yeah.
Well, then if
Well,
you
then
count
no,
it as
it
a credit,
doesn't
then it doesn't count as a
It
flat
doesn't
ride.
count as a flat ride.
Yeah.
My favorite flat ride.
Ooh, I do like a lot of drop towers though. Like I like acrophobia at Six Flags over Georgia a lot. That was so crazy.
No.
That's scarier than Falcon's Fury because
I
it
haven't
doesn't.
done Falcon.
It doesn't. So the thing is,
terrifying.
it
Well,
Here's
the thing that acrophobia does, which I think there's a couple other drop towers like this. It doesn't do what Falcon's Fury does of like flipping you 45 degrees or
Mhm.
90 degrees or whatever it is, and like facing flat to the ground. Acrophobia just does that just enough so you can face the ground a little bit, so it just tilts you a little bit. And so I didn't know that it did that because it does it ever so slightly that from the ground you can't really tell that it does it until we rode it, and it tilts you and you can actually see where you're going. And then the brakes don't hit till like it's basically like a Larson drop tower. Like it doesn't hit till like
Yeah.
you're almost at the ground. So like the last like 3 seconds of like the free falling, I was screaming my head off because I'm like I didn't know when we were gonna stop. Like
Yeah.
at Falcon's Fury, it releases you like halfway down, so you don't
Oh,
even
that's
have
so
that
fun.
like face down. No, yeah, that ride is scary as heck. But yeah, no, I'd say as far as like conventional flat rides, like non-drop towers, yeah, I'd probably go Wonder Woman. But since Raven's taking a break here, let's look at our questions list, or at least like let's check the Q&A. But Beyond the Thrills, Alpine Bobsled, yeah, that's super rare. And that's one thing that makes
Oh,
me nervous
yeah,
about going to
jeez.
Great Escape is that like that's one of those rides that you never know whether it's going to be open or not. Like
Yeah.
that's honestly kind of like scary to me. But yeah. So anyway, sorry if I'm missing any sort of comments or questions or anything. But I do want to ask.
Yo, Mike, you got Dragonfire? My dad's got that. He said it wasn't any good, but I was born too late in life to get a chance to ride. But it's like the one. If I could go back in time, I'd probably pick that ride.
So
It just looks bad.
we've talked a lot about defunct roller coasters, but I think it's time to look ahead to
Oh,
some
look
of
ahead
the
in
new
the
ones.
future?
Musical Express.
Yeah. What?
Mine is Musical Express.
Well-
Oh, the flat ride.
Yeah.
Their favorite
Before
flat
you
ride are musical expresses. That's GP. Yeah. GP rated. Anyway, yeah. So I want to look ahead to some future coasters and ask, what is your most anticipated new credit of 2023? Like what future roller coaster are you most looking forward to?
It's going to be brand new in 2023.
Yeah, that like either hasn't been built yet, or it's still under construction, or it's been announced, or it's rumored, or
I think the one I pick is Two Tatis.
in France.
France?
Yeah.
That to me looks like it will
Get on
it
in
will
your
be
league.
it'll
Yeah.
be the best the best
She's like
ride
cut
of
off the whole
2020 the best ride of 2023, and I have a friend who's actually from France, and that park was his home park.
Oh, nice.
So I'm hoping to maybe hitch a ride with him at some point next year, but I think that ride looks ridiculous. As far as here in the States though, isn't like RMC doing something to Fire in the Hole or Blazing Fury at Silver Dollar City?
I have no idea.
Like I think,
I haven't heard anything
isn't
about
that
that.
supposed to be like they're like under wraps? Like
Yeah,
Because
but would
it
that be a
caught
new
on
credit
fire.
though?
they call it on fire. I heard that they're kind of doing something new, but I don't know. Other than that, I'd probably pick like what's one realistically I'm gonna get on, because I don't think I'm going to Silver Dollar City next year or France. Like, what am I watching get built around here?
Or maybe hasn't been built yet.
Hasn't been built. Yeah, if I had to pick like a hypothetical thing that I'm like looking
Just
forward
new
to,
coaster
is,
in the future.
I'm really. I mean, of course, I'm excited to see T-Rex track, and I think they're actually going to start by RMCing old steel coasters. Like, how cool would it be if, like, I don't know, like Six Flags called RMC to give their Giovanola Hypers new layouts?
Oh wow! I didn't
Right?
think about that. That would be pretty crazy. Man.
What about you?
I wonder if
What's
RMC can do that. Yeah, I mean, well, I think you missed a pretty obvious one in RMC Wildcat. Like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, that's
I
right.
think
I was
that
like,
would-
what's gonna be
Yeah, that
new
would probably be
after
mine,
that?
and I'm definitely gonna get on it. And honestly, like, I'll probably get like a season pass next year to Hershey.
Wild Boardwalk Wild Mouse. Yeah, you're right. I forgot.
What?
At a
Oh.
point.
That was kind of disappointing. I mean, like, I get that, like, some people either are like me and they wanted like another Cedar Point level, like crazy big addition, and other people are all like, you know what, this makes Cedar Point like a more well-rounded park. This is like a sort of like more family-friendly area, semi-well themed area that they needed, which it's nice, but it's like, man, like spitting Wild Mouse at Cedar Point, it just doesn't feel right. It just does not feel right coming out of my mouth. Like,
I will be excited when
I don't feel like I'm actually saying that.
the only announcement I want from Cedar
Seems
Point
fake.
is them saying we're going to build like a 30-story tall parking garage, because that means they're going to start expanding the peninsula. That's what I want them to do.
Yeah, right. No, that'd be great.
Or
But-
they're going to be like, we're going to just start building out into the water.
But as far as like new coasters in 2023, I'd say our RMC Wildcat's probably like top of my list, and that's definitely the one that like I'm most likely going to ride. But then honestly, like as far as like significance in the coaster community, it's Circuit Breaker at Codaland or
Oh,
Codaland.
yeah.
yeah,
Forgot about those.
the new Vekoma tilt coaster
When
going to Texas.
is Palindrome getting built?
I think so.
Is it already built?
Oh, that's a good point. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, Air Force One is the same thing. It's like, oh, new for 2022,
One.
and it's
Forgot
like
about
still
that.
being built. And
Sorry.
then, like, yeah, Palindrome.
Forgot.
I haven't heard anything about that. Maybe they're planning on like opening it alongside Circuit Breaker because the thing is they announced Palindrome. It's like, okay, that's gonna be really cool. And then they went ahead like a couple months later and they're like, yeah, by the way, we're planning on opening this the year
Oh
after.
yeah.
And we're all like, oh my god, like is this new like tiny little kiddie park that's built at a racetrack gonna be like a serious theme park
It
or
is,
a serious amusement park? Because it's looking like it's going to be. Like, you know, you got Palindrome and Circuit Breaker. I mean, and Circuit Breaker just has like a lot of significance in the coaster community, and it's got like that crazy like extended layout too. Like that looks like it's just gonna be wild. Any other questions you want to ask her?
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
Beyond the Fearless. Well, this is good because Beyond the Fearless is where South Jersey you grew up.
I grew up. Oh no way. Oh, you live in Mount Laurel? No way. Yeah, no. I'm from. So I'm originally from Medford Lakes. I don't know if you. So I went to Shawnee. And yeah, no. So I grew up in Medford Lakes. We were just back there for a special event there, called Canoe Carnival, and you know it's a really fun hometown to grow up in. But yeah, usually I'm not that specific with like where I'm from because usually I tell people like I'm from like near Cherry Hill. So that's like kind of like the major South Jersey town, even though it's like probably like 20 minutes from where I'm from. But since you're from Mount Laurel, yeah, you should be familiar with Medford and Medford Lakes.
His dad went to Shawnee.
No way.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, that's sick. Wow. Yeah, super cool.
Waiting for Nate.
Well, no, I mean, you can just ask it.
Okay. Oh, what if he comes back? He's confused.
Yeah. I mean, you can answer one of these if you'd like.
I don't have opinions. I am GP. I'm glorified GP. I've been on a couple coasters. What's your least favorite part?
I mean, Clementon's probably up there. You know, and I haven't been back there. It's like one of those parks that I've like kind of avoided. Like, I want to get back on Hellcat. I mean, not back on, but like on Hellcat so bad. Like just to say that I've been on it. And then hopefully they RMC it one day, and then you know obviously that'll be 2 credits. But my least favorite park that I've been to at least recently, man. I mean, as far as major parks go, like I would say Six Flags America is definitely up there. Like I don't know about you guys.
Ooh,
Dude,
what are
especially-
we talking now? Worst parks?
Yeah, we're least favorite parks. And yeah, like dude, like Six Flags America really is just such a strange park. Then another park that needs to RMC an old rough coaster and roar. But I mean, honestly, I don't even know why I'm speculating. I have a list of my ranked parks, so I can go based off that. But you know,
All right, there you go.
what's your
Nate.
least
What's your
favorite
least
park?
favorite?
My least favorite park. I wrote down an answer to this earlier because I don't just want to shit talk on Universal. Oh, excuse my language.
Um,
You might have to leave that. I wrote down.
oh, oh man, I talked about KP coasters earlier. They probably know like what I went through. Definitely my least favorite park. More than Six Flags America, more than Clementon. Freaking Keansburg Amusement Park in Keansburg, New Jersey. It's like on like the North Jersey shore, and I've been there twice, and I have neither of the credits
Oh, that's
because
brutal.
both times I've gone, they were either like closed or they didn't let me on, or like it's just insane. Like so, I think the first time I went, it was like the night before there was like a big storm and like some of their like electricity was out like in the area, so they just didn't open at all, and I didn't know that. I mean, they might have posted about it on their Facebook, but there was nothing on their website because their website is just like archaic and like never up to date. And then so I went back a year later to try to get the same two coasters because, like I mentioned earlier, state completion. I wanted to get all the credits in New Jersey. And I'm close to it, but Keansburg, I probably will never go back because the thing is they have the Pinfari Zyklon and like a kiddie coaster, and the Pinfari looping coaster was closed. But then I still waited around for so long, like just waiting for like their kiddie coaster to open. And I was asking like park staff, I was asking this, asking that. But then eventually, I guess they just got like tired of me asking when it was going to open. And they literally had a manager come up and tell me that I couldn't ride it, even though the ride wasn't open yet. And I wasn't like waiting in line. They told me they were just like, sir, you can't ride this. Like, you're not allowed. Like, you're too big. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I've been on rides like this all the time. Like, and I've been here for like 2 hours waiting for your rides to open up. Like, this is the second time I've been here. Like, why? Like, I honestly was like pleading with him. I'm like, dude, I don't want to dislike this place. I'm like, can you just please let me on it? Like, this is insane. Like, I've been waiting and like there's no one here. I'm like, what's the harm? Like, I don't know. And I get that, like, some parks like have the policy that, you know, if you're above a certain weight, like you can't get on, or like I think it was just weak reasoning. Like, I think they were just tired of me bothering them and they just wanted me to leave.
Probably.
So yeah, dude, Keansburg is. I had a really long rant about it on my Instagram story last year. Seriously, like that place is horrible. I do not suggest it.
Nate?
My official answer is that I wrote down is I've never had a bad day at a theme park, but any place that doesn't have shade is a place that I don't like.
So Dorney.
Most parks
Dorney
Dorney
doesn't have shade.
Dorney's got a
Dorney
decent
doesn't have
amount.
Like,
any shade.
Especially, yeah, like
Near Zephyr,
yeah,
there's enough. There's enough trees.
there's enough shade, but
I
I've been to
just
so many parks that just have like no shade and are doing like literally nothing to figure that out.
Diggerland. I guess that is a
What's
park.
wrong with Diggerland?
I don't even really consider it. Honestly, like if a park doesn't have a coaster, I don't really have it on my rankings. I don't think. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Legoland in Florida. They have coasters.
they have 4 coasters.
Yeah.
I'd love to go there.
You haven't
We
been?
should go. No, that's
Oh.
not. Honestly,
Hey, have
those
you
are some of
been
the
to
only
Legoland?
credits
I've
in
never been,
Florida
no.
that I don't
I'll
have.
go.
Yeah.
I've been to Legoland.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm more of an enthusiast than you guys. I don't know. I've been to Legoland.
Maybe.
All right, moving on. Well, my least favorite park is America. Six Flags.
Six Flags America.
America.
That's not the
It is-
hellhole people
It is,
make it out
it
to
is
be.
the worst
Oh, you
place
worked
I've
it.
ever been in my entire life. It's
It's
terrible every time we go there. The one time we went there, we left after like
Dude,
an hour or
so
something.
the last time we
was
went
so
was in
bad.
2020 for like for Fright Fest. Just because we had been to Great Adventure so many times that year that we wanted to like mix it up and go to a different park, so we just decided to have a weekend trip down to Six Flags America, even though we had already gotten all the credits the summer before.
Yeah.
We just wanted to go back there and just like see what their Fright Fest was like, and it was fine.
Garbage. No.
It was fine
They're
until it got
worse
until it got
parks,
busy.
though.
Until it got busy, because the thing is, like, literally as soon as we left, I think we left at like around like 4, maybe.
the day before.
What do you guys think of Wild One?
What is it?
Wild
It's decent. I haven't gotten good enough rides on it. I know you're
so
really high on
underrated.
it.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
Voyager.
I haven't-
of the last
I haven't
century.
gotten good enough ride. That's the older wooden coaster at the white one at
Goes
Six
to
Flags
like
America.
1901.
Yeah.
It like still slaps.
No, but like no, Six Flags America is just such a weird park. Like they need a new addition so bad. They RMC'd Aurora be like 10 times better of a park. But the thing is, like to have your headlining attraction Superman almost
Wild one.
strictly always just be running one train, and so many things at the park are running one train. Like it's just so bad. Like the operations are bad, even when it is two trains, which is rare. Yeah, it's just a really weird park, and it's usually busy for like no reason. That's what doesn't make any sense about them not adding anything too. It's because like every time I've been there, there's a decent amount of people. Like it's the
Yeah.
DC metro area. Like there's there's a good opportunity for like lots of people to go there if they just like ran it better. Like I just that's the most confusing part.
I agree.
honestly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Running out of time. I mean, like not running out of time, but it's almost 8:30. So
Okay.
we want to end soon.
Yeah, we
Moving
can
on
finish
to
up with
a
one question.
last question that might do some controversy, so it might be fun. But Beyond Thrill says, "Have you ever been to Sahara Sounds?" I know you.
Oh, I have. Yeah, no. Well, I mean,
Oh,
from
no.
South Jersey, you know,
It's
like
like a little water
I've been
park.
there like
Oh,
probably 2 or 3
Fishing.
times.
Oh.
It was mostly like for friends' birthday parties, like growing up. I would say, yeah. So I've never been to Diggerland because I think they started doing that like later on in either middle school or high school. So I'd already kind of outgrown the whole thing, like with the construction equipment or whatever. But I mean, I'm sure it'd be fun if we went back there. But yeah,
All right, 2-part question. What is your least favorite? No, we just did least favorite park, right?
Yeah.
All right. What is your least favorite major roller coaster that should be good but just isn't?
I like the wording of this question because it's least favorite, and it's not like what's a coaster you hate. So I don't have to pick like, this
kitty
was fun when I was
coasters or
thinking
like
about this.
crappy
Like
ones. Yeah.
my ultimate coaster that gets. I think we mentioned this earlier, but I'm not a believer in Velocicoaster. I
Really?
absolutely am not. No. The
Maybe that's the answer to the question. The most overrated coaster.
yeah,
in your opinion.
I think it's over. I do think it's good. I do think it's a good ride, but like after I rode it, I was like,
He just hates Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
It just bothers.
I was
me.
why are people putting this number one? Like it launches you into an Immelman, which is like the most predictable inversion of all time, followed by a dive loop, like maybe the third or fourth most
which is just an
predictable
Immelman backwards.
of all time, right?
Dive loop's the same
And
thing.
then
It's
it,
just,
and
it's
then
just in
it then
reverse.
it weaves around a bunch of rocks, which Universal spent $250,000 to
On the
put
rocks.
there, right? And then it gives you a top hat, which is good. And then it meanders around 2 big helixes.
Universal just has so much money they don't know what to do with it. They just
And then
waste
it
all
does
on
the most
rock
the
roll.
roll.
Mosasaurus roll.
Yeah, which is cool. But to me, it's like 2 elements hidden behind a movie.
Molly also hates Chris
Yeah, Molly
Pratt.
hates Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
I mean, but the thing is, I don't dislike Chris Pratt. I mean, I always like to think that I might kind
No,
of resemble him
no,
if
no,
I
no.
if I
No.
shave my
I actually
beard.
You're
like
way better
Chris
than Chris
Pratt.
Pratt.
I actually do.
Oh,
you
for the
do?
record, I do.
I
I'm not a
think
Chris.
he's heinous.
I'm not a
hate
Chris
I know
him.
he's kind of a weirdo. Like I don't know. Like,
He's a
he-
weirdo.
I mean, I just like him in like Parks and Rec, and then like and then Guardians of the Galaxy.
And then
like,
he gets
he's
too
into some of that
famous,
stuff.
and then he became
Yeah,
a weirdo.
yeah. He became a Hollywood weirdo.
Every
But
time Mike said, before you get to yours, Phoenix is his, in his opinion.
Phoenix.
that he doesn't like
Yeah.
Phoenix. Wow.
I see-
mean, you
Like,
and
that
I just
should
rode
be
good,
Phoenix
yeah.
recently.
I see how one can be let down from Phoenix. I remember when I wrote it as a kid. I remember being just like a straight up Knoebels hater at one point. But
Yo, Nick, you got a good point, man. Like, Superman the Ride would be easily in my top 10, or even like closer to my
Wait,
top
after
5
Phoenix, after Phoenix.
if the lap bars weren't so bad. Like
Yeah.
the friggin' Intamin U bricks, like they're terrible. But yeah, Phoenix, dude, I love Phoenix. And then the rides we just got recently,
I love Phoenix. Yeah,
that and Twister, like because it was really hot the day we
Where's
went
Phoenix?
at Knoebels.
Knoebels.
Phoenix, okay, it's Phoenix at Knoebels. Yeah, yeah, no, they.
There's
Like,
another Phoenix.
oh God, there's a few Phoenixes, yeah, but there's Phoenix, Arizona. No,
Nah,
that's
shut
it.
up.
But yeah, no, Phoenix at Knoebels, like yeah, so that and Twister both like shot up my rankings because they were running so well. And Phoenix honestly is like one of those coasters that like scares me. Like it feels dangerous. Like because like every time you're like this. Like
Oh,
up
Phoenix?
and down,
Yeah.
out of your seat. Like it's not just the sensation of airtime that you're pressed up against your lap bar. You are literally hovering each time you get that airtime.
I know,
Like,
yeah.
because it's just the buzz
It's-
bar. Like there's like basically no
Yeah, it's
restraint.
going.
No seat.
Bye.
Awesome. See you, Nick.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, no. Anyway, what was the question I needed to ask?
Your least favorite coaster that should be good, but it isn't.
Well, we were talking about Six Flags America. I mean, I think you can't not mention Firebird. I mean, that thing is trash. I mean, it's a major steel coaster. It's a B&M, smoothest B&M in Maryland. It's the only B&M.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like I didn't have very high expectations going into it, and it was just like, man, somehow even those low expectations were just like even worse because like all it did, I think it inverts like twice maybe, and the rest is just kind of meandering around, and then somehow it's not even going that fast, but then you still get the like head jerk, like oh, and like I slam my ears like every time I ride that.
Well,
And
maybe
it's
your
just
friend might
like-
sad opinion.
No, it just sucks. I hate Firebird, but then to say like my most overrated coaster, I honestly I probably have to check my rankings, but man, what's it like coaster that like everybody loves that I really just don't like? I mean, I did mention Ghost Rider earlier, like that's like should be close to my top 10, but it's just not. But then again, I never rode it since the GCI retrack and the new trains and stuff. So I basically rode a completely different ride. So
Yeah.
like, that's why it's like so low for me. But yeah, I mean, I guess that, but anyway, but yeah, I guess we're right around the 8:30 mark. So, Nate, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having
Raven,
me.
you don't really have a choice because she lives here too. But yeah, no. Once again, anybody watching, thank you so much for your constant support of Coaster John. Could not be here without you. Your constant support and watching the videos, liking, I produce content for you guys, so I greatly appreciate it. And for my 1,000 subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thank you once again.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
That's the celebration. Yeah, that's the Q&A. All right. Peace, everybody.
Bye.
See you later. You can press that end button. See ya.
I'm going.
Peace.